Welcome, Masters of Leather. Tonight we talk about push bevelers and beaters. Yes, these common little tools have caused quite a bit of problems for so many people, mainly because nobody really knows how to use them well. They are a fixed shaft tool, and you do hold them similar to stabbing a knife with your implement down and a firm grip on the handle. I'm going to demonstrate using the push beater tonight. Now, I've already cut the border of my project with my swivel knife, and it's well cased. And the tip to using this is we want to lock up the wrist here. We don't want any play in the wrist at all. And we're going to pull the entire arm straight back with us. We don't want to have any of the bend like this or that, and try not to go side to side. So, the idea is the tool should cut its own track. I like to cut both sides of it to get a deeper impression of the bead and really get a nice round. But starting with half of the foot, and it's channeled out here, half of the foot in the cut, I'm going to put some pressure down on it, locking up my wrist, and I'm going to pull it back along that line, just as I'm pulling my swivel knife. It's very, very similar to using your swivel knife. And you can go back and forth, helps even things out. Just do this all the way around your piece. And the thing you want to be careful of is just not to jump out of your cut and get hideous little marks all over your project that are hard to get rid of. Now, some people prefer to use the beaded blade, and as I understand from Barry, the blade for the swivel knife just does not get the same effect as using this particular tool does. So like I said, I like to cut both sides of the track to help get a little bit more depth and a little bit better raised bead around my project. Takes a little more time, I know, but the results are well worth it. Then again, just in the same fashion, back and forth, smooth out my bead, get it nice and rounded, burnish it up a little bit. Now the problem with a push beater is it's hard to get into corners. So sometimes it's best to camouflage these corners with some kind of decorative tool, maybe a crowner or a border stamp. But it's very, very difficult to get actually into a 90-degree corner. And that is where it does take a little extra practice to get used to. So as you can see here, we now have a nice developed bead all the way around. Now our push beveler is the same basic theory. We want a nice stabbing action, locking the wrist, full motion of the arm from the elbow and the shoulder, in the groove with downward pressure. This one really helps to go forward with it, and it doesn't give you an extremely beveled line. I mean, it's a nice rounded bevel line. You can go over it a couple times, but it's not as deep as using a beveler with your maul would be. So you don't expect it to be as deep and as crisp as you would. But there you go. We have used the beater. And really, I can't stress that the biggest thing about this tool is just to really keep that wrist very rigid and really pull your arm from the shoulder and the elbow, and that just eliminates twisting and laying over and getting off track. Once again, we've demonstrated some tools, given you some great tips. Hope this helps, and we'll see you next time.